Well, why are we surprised? The lockdown measures to combat the COVID-19 pandemic make excessive demands on security forces, and yet the government has not availed itself of the support offered by organised agriculture in terms of the rural safety strategy, due to its apparent inability to reach a positive decision regarding requests for assistance. While the government drags its feet, farmers are suffering enormous losses as a result of an increase in livestock and produce theft and illegal slaughtering and looting of farms, said TLUSA and Agri-SA. Henry Geldenhuys, Deputy President and Chair of TLUSA's Safety Committee, said, "Farmers are fed up with the government's total disregard for farmers and their needs." And also said, "It is now time for the government to do its part. It is no longer business as usual." Requests addressed to the Ministries of Police, Agriculture and Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs as early as the first week of the lockdown to include farm watchers as an essential service were ignored, despite the fact that these requests were followed up both telephonically and in writing. While the government drags its feet, the farming community is left out in the cold. It is interesting that the government approaches the farming community when it needs help with the distribution of fresh produce to needy communities, with producers and farm workers heeding the request and making generous contributions in this regard. Yet the government ignores organised agriculture's proposed amendments to the lockdown regulations in order to protect food production. Organised agriculture via its Farm Watch system has since the late 1990s been part of rural safety and has experienced good cooperation from the police in terms of visible policing and implementation of the rural safety strategy. Therefore, the recent public utterances by the Minister of Police make no sense. The Minister is still not prepared to liaise with TLUSA and Agri-SA to find an acceptable solution to combat crime in rural areas during the lockdown period. The increasing inability of state departments such as the police and public works to respond to organised agriculture's request in the past is shocking. When people no longer have money to buy food, they will increasingly resort to theft, which can potentially give rise to serious conflict because farming communities will protect their own property, while the police are focusing on implementing the regulations in towns, cities, and along the main routes. The inability of the police to implement effective policing and maintain law and order in rural areas has resulted in producers having to incur enormous costs to introduce safety measures in order to protect food production. Reports have been received from the respective provinces to the effect that the police are no longer involved in proactive policing. Incidents that are reported are not even investigated, and complainants in the agricultural sector must arrest suspects and bring them to the police, otherwise the police cannot open a case. The current situation in rural areas is totally unacceptable. The farming community is also experiencing enormous frustration with the manner in which the police at local level interpret the regulations. Effective command and control measures backed by good communication are needed now more than ever before. TLUSA and Agri-SA thank their members for continuing to produce food under very difficult circumstances to ensure that food is always available. Both these organizations also thank the many police officers who in difficult times go the extra mile to assist the community and continue to perform their duties well. And that's becoming increasingly a minority, sadly. It has largely contributed to the farming community that there is still stability in the country, because agriculture has been able to produce enough food for the nation, even during the lockdown period. For this reason, it is also in the national interest to safeguard food production against criminality in order to maintain food security. TLUSA and Agri-SA have provided the government with various workable proposals in this regard. It is now time for the government to take note of the seriousness of the crime situation in rural areas and to join forces with organised agriculture. Well, the problem is, you never know who in the ANC has got their fat little fingers in the till at this time, do we? Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe.